Hey class! So today we are going to do our interactive read aloud on this book, Rikki-Tikki-Tavi. And a summary of the book is that a mongoose, which is an animal, befriends a boy in India and becomes the family's hero when he confronts two evil cobras who are intent on harming the family and the other animals around the house. And the author's message in this book is that sometimes you have to overcome your fear to do what is right. Even when you're small, if you have perseverance and grit, you can succeed. So some themes that we will see in this story are perseverance, grit, and overcoming hardships. Let's dive into our story. So, the book is Rikki-Tikki-Tavi by Rudyard Kipling and illustrated by Jerry Pinkney. And I'm guessing that animal is the mongoose. This is the story of a great war that Rikki-Tikki-Tavi fought, all by himself, through the English family's house in India. Rikki-Tikki-Tavi was a mongoose, with fur and a tail like a cat's and a head like a weasel's. One day, a summer flood washed him out of the burrow where he lived with his father and mother and floated him, kicking and clucking, down a roadside ditch. When he found a stick floating near him, he held onto it until he fainted. When he revived, he was lying in the middle of a garden path, very wet indeed, and a little boy was saying, "Here's a dead mongoose. Let's have a funeral." "No," said his mother. "Let's take him and dry him off. Perhaps he really isn't dead." They took him into the house, where a big man picked him up and said he wasn't dead. He was just tired. So they wrapped him in cotton and warmed him over the little fire, and he opened his eyes and sneezed. "Now," said the big man, who was the boy's father, "don't frighten him. We will see what he'll do." It is the hardest thing in the world to frighten a mongoose, because it is full of curiosity from nose to tail. The motto of the mongoose family is, "Go and find out," and Rikki-Tikki was a true mongoose. He looked at the cotton, decided it wasn't good to eat, ran all around the table, sat up, scratched himself, and jumped on the boy's shoulders. "Don't be frightened, Teddy," said his father. "That's the way that he makes friends." "He tickles," said Teddy. Rikki-Tikki snuffed at the boy's ear and climbed down to the floor, where he sat rubbing his nose. "Is he so tame because we helped him?" asked Teddy's mother. "All mongooses are like that," said the husband. "If Teddy doesn't pick him up by the tail, he'll run in and out of the house all day long. Let's give him something to eat." They gave him a piece of raw meat, which Rikki-Tikki liked immensely. "There are more things to find out about in this house," he said to himself, "than all my family could help find out in their lives. I shall certainly stay and find out." He spent the day roaming around the house. He nearly drowned in the bathroom, put his nose in the ink on the desk, and burned it on the end of the man's cigar. When Teddy went to bed, Rikki-Tikki climbed up too. Teddy's mother and father came in before they went to bed, and Rikki-Tikki was awake on the pillow. "I don't like this," said Teddy's mother. "He might bite." "He won't bite," said the father. "Teddy's safer with that little animal than with a watchdog. And if a snake came into a room..." But Teddy's mother wouldn't think of anything so awful. There's a picture of Rikki-Tikki dipping his nose into ink. Early in the morning, Rikki-Tikki came to breakfast on the porch, riding on Teddy's shoulders, and they gave him a banana and some boiled egg, and he sat there in his laps, he sat on all their laps, one after the other. Then Rikki-Tikki went out into the backyard to see what was to be seen. It was a large yard with rose bushes as big as houses, lime and orange trees, and clumps of bamboo. Rikki-Tikki scuttled up and down the garden, snuffing here and there until he heard very sad voices in a thorn bush. It was Darzy, the tailor bird, and his wife. They had made a beautiful nest by pulling 2 big leaves together and stitching up the edges, and they had filled the inside with fluff. "What's the matter?" said Rikki-Tikki. "We are miserable," said Darzy. "One of our babies fell out of the nest yesterday, and Nag ate him." Said Rikki-Tikki. "That is very sad, but I'm a stranger here. Who is Nag?" Darzy and his wife cowered down in the nest without answering, for from the thick grass at the foot of the bush came a low hiss, a horrid, cold sound. Then, inch by inch, out of the grass rose up the head of Nag, a big cobra, and he was 5 feet long from tongue to tail. When he had lifted 1/3 of himself clear out of the ground, he swayed like a dandelion tuft in the wind, and he looked at Rikki-Tikki with the wicked snake eyes that never change their expression, no matter what the snake may be thinking. "Who is Nag?" he asked. "I am Nag. Look and be afraid." Rikki-Tikki was afraid, but only for a minute. It is impossible for a mongoose to be frightened for very long. Rikki-Tikki had never met a live cobra before, but his mother had fed him on dead ones, and he knew that it was a mongoose's job to fight and eat snakes. Nag knew that too, and at the bottom of his cold heart, he was afraid. So I want you guys to make some inferences on what you think is going to happen in this story. Is Nag, the cobra, going to continue ruling the outside? Or is Rikki-Tikki, the mongoose, going to be able to overtake Nag?